Hello, everyone. I know it has been a while, but I'm glad to be back and breaking the silence today with a different style video. I want to discuss and demonstrate an example of not overdoing processing when mixing. There are times you may feel that you need to do more processing on your mix when actually you don't, and the mix would be better off with less processing. And I will explain this using a free multi-track recording that can be found on this website. If you would like to work alongside this video, I'll have the link in the description. Disclaimer, I do not own the rights to any of this music, and I'm not attempting to monetize or make money off of this content. This content is purely for educational purposes. The band name is Dino on the Loose. Their bandcamp can be found here, so make sure you support the artist. So the first thing we are going to do is take a quick listen to the song. Nothing has been done to the tracks. I've only turned down the master track by a good bit, around -6 dB, to protect our ears from any loud noises. If you are on headphones, be sure to listen to this at a low level to protect your ears, as there are a few loud tracks or loud sounds that can be jarring to hear. So let's take a listen. So the first thing you always want to do is set the levels. I'm not going to set the levels from scratch for this video because I already have a mix that I like very much. But here is what my mix just with setting the levels sounds like. No processing. So when I hear a recording like this, the first things that come to mind are the classic fusion funk bands of the 70s and early 80s, bands like Weather Report, Jeff Lorber, Tribal Tech, Uzeb. This song also reminds me of the work of composers Kenta Nagata and Soya Oko, who both worked on games from the Mario Kart franchise. And also with music like this, I don't want to add too much processing that would take away from the performance. So I already know that I want to keep processing as minimal as possible. So the first order of business for me is the surgical EQ to clean up the recordings. I'm using the Kirchhoff EQ to only boost or cut what is needed. For tracks that don't need it, I'm only using it for high passing any low noise, nothing more than that. Let's take a listen to all the tracks just with the Kirchhoff EQ on each track. So on the drum bus, I am using a small amount of dynamics processing. I'm using the SSL bus compressor from Waves because it adds a little punch to the drum track, but I'm not driving it hard. I still want to maintain the integrity of the performance of the drummer. I just want a bit more punch and snap. Let's take a listen to that. I am also using the blend EQ just to boost some highs and lows. Not much, just a little bit of a boost. Let's take a listen to what that sounds like. Now there is one other plugin that I am using on the drum bus, and that is the Abbey Road Chamber plugin from Waves. And I'm using this to add just a small amount of dimension or depth. I'm not using it in a traditional sense for reverb. I'm just trying to add a little bit of space and just to bring a little life to the performance. It's a very small amount. Now, you can hear it once I bypass it, but I'm not sure if it'll show up on YouTube. But it's very, very faint, very small amount. So listen very closely. Now we're moving on to the bass guitar track, and the only additional plugin that I am using aside from the Kirchhoff EQ is the Blend EQ, and I'm only using this to boost some of the high end and a little bit of low end, specifically for the parts of the song where the bass is being slapped. And let's take a listen to see how that sounds. So everything else is going to be on the 2 bus from here on out. And we're going to start with the K-Clip 3. This is the first plugin that I'm using on the 2 bus. And I'm using this to take care of some peaks that were giving me a few problems. One of the things that I love about K-Clip 3 is that it allows you to hear what you are clipping. So let's take a listen to that. Next in line, I'm using the magenta EQ and compressor from Acoustica Audio. The EQ is to add some smooth highs to the mix and the compressor for gluing everything together. So let's take a listen to those and see what they're doing. After those two magenta plugins from Acoustica Audio, I am using the True Iron from Kazrog, which is one of my favorite saturation plugins. And I'm basically using this just to add a little energy to the mix. So let's take a listen to that. Now, what you will notice about the True Iron is that it sort of adds excitement to the high end, and it's a bit more intense than what I intended it to be. So what I'm using is the VTM from Slate Digital, and what this does is this darkens your mix, but it adds some low-end presence as well, and some low-end thump. So let's see how that sounds alongside the True Iron. So what I'm going to do now is use the trim module from the virtual mix rack of Slate Digital to flip through bypass, 2-bus, and activating the 2-bus chain so you can hear the difference, and they are level matched. So listen closely. So that basically ends our video for today. I just wanted to do a video showing you an example of a time where you don't have to add so much processing. And hopefully this is encouraging and inspiring for you guys. Let me know in the comments below how this video helped you and what other kinds of examples you would like me to post on the channel. I will be getting active again. I've been very, very busy with lots of work, some great stuff that I'm going to be sharing with you guys here on the channel very, very, very soon. So until next time, happy mixing.